My name's Trina Cornell, and I am a reading specialist in the Pattonville School District. And I came across this sound spa through my wonderful friend Noelle, who was upstarting this new thing that was very intriguing to me. I didn't really know a whole lot about it when I started, and she was very gracious to offer some free sessions to let us as teachers try it out, see what it was all about. And you don't know it's a thing until it's a thing. And then I started trying it. I think especially in the last 2 years since I've started national board processes and things like that, I've noticed that I've needed more of that in my life just to help me slow down, give myself some time to do what I need to do for myself, having a set time every week where I knew I could come in and just let everything go, relax, rejuvenate, take a nap if I wanted to, just get myself reset, especially that transition from school to the weekend to being with my family. That was so important for me to have that time to get myself centered so that I could go home and be the mama and the wife that I needed to be. Well, Friday sessions for me are very accessible because I come straight from school. It's a 20-minute drive from my school to the sound spa, so it's really convenient for me from school, even more so than my home. But I like those Friday sessions because it helps me put school behind me for that week. Just let all that go, get settled, reset, take a break, process it all. I'm a processor, so having that time is really helpful to me. And then come out of that and then move into my weekend in the best way possible. Either way, this is important. Granted, like I said, my schedule is not allowing it for it right now, but with the opening of more time slots and different days, it's going to definitely help me get it in there since I can't go to my Friday sessions right now. It would have helped me feel my feelings. When I first started, I was very curious. So it was hard for me to settle for the first few because I was very curious about what was going on around me and the sounds and stuff. And I've never seen anything that y'all do because my eyes are always closed. Just trying to, I think the first few for me were just to get a feel for how they go. I never really settled, I guess you would say, in those just because I was still trying to figure it out. But I realized a couple weeks ago at my very last session, I want to say I hit like number 50. I've done 50 sessions now. And I would say now, by the time the meditation is over with and the sounds, it's just the sounds, I'm usually pretty settled. And for me, I think personally right now, it's just a time of rest because I don't rest like I probably should. Like, I'm very intentional about my sleep. Like, sleep and rest are two different things, but I'm very intentional about how much sleep I get now just because it's so important and it so informs the rest of my day, depending on how much time I would get there. But I go from start to finish, day in, day out, and a lot of times I don't sit because I was taught productivity doing makes a successful day. Like, my brain is going through what I should be doing, right? So I'm trying to, with these sessions, force myself to rest, like just lay down there and I just feel the vibrations and I just sit there and I'm like, I'm just going to let this do what it needs to do because it does it calms me. And those hour-long sessions are huge. I love the 2 hours too, because it just pushes me that much further. It pushes you deeper into it. These, I think, I would call it intentional rest. These help me just shut my mind down for a minute because my mind runs a mile a minute. I'm a mama, I'm a teacher. Life is lifing up there, right? So when I come in, I just try to stop. I just try to just shut my mind off and just lean into everything that's happening around me. And it makes such a difference. I always leave feeling so much better. I really do. I think it helps me approach things at home with less emotion, because if I'm emotionally charged, it's harder to show up in the way I probably should when it comes to my kids. I see it helping me show up probably with more empathy, honestly, show up with more patience, I would say, especially with my kiddos, because they're two totally different kids. I feel like these sessions help me center myself and pull myself out of the equation so that I can deal with them in a very objective way and not with a raised voice, not with anger, but with patience and with understanding and, hey, let's talk about this, not, no, 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 no. There's a difference. So I feel like it helps me show up better that way, just as a stable force for my kids. When they come home, I was tired. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I can tell you that for sure. Just trying to make it through a lot, really just survive. I guess survival would be a good way to put it. Just trying to survive and not really resting, not really taking any time for me, because I thought that was selfish back then. I thought it was selfish for me to just take time for me, especially when I have the obligation of my children and my husband and all these other obligations. Why would I be selfish and take that time? That was my mentality back then. But then once I started hearing about these kind of sessions and the benefits and what it could do for me, I got curious. I'm like, I could use something. I don't know what these are, but this is something that is worth investigating and trying and seeing if it would benefit me in some way. I knew that I needed something, that I had to be intentional about scheduling rest and scheduling time for myself and realizing that's not a bad thing. That actually makes me better when I take that time for myself and seeing the difference before a session versus after. So I went to the session, I had my 30-minute drive, I did the session, and I walked out of there feeling so much better. And that's when I knew, okay, there's something to this. There's something to this. That sound just resonates. It does its work, whatever it does. And then 50 sessions out now, I just am like, it's hard for me right now to do without them. Sound session just adds that extra layer of, okay, you're actually going to rest. You're not rushing into the next thing. What's next on your to-do list? Your to-do list, when I have sound sessions, that doesn't matter. That gets put on pause until it's time for me to go back and take care of that. So 50 sessions out, I feel a lot better. Like I know how to probably better manage emotions in general. Like it's helped me in that journey, but it's also helped me just leave school at school and just be intentional about leaving that week. Whatever happened in that week, it's gone. It's in the past. Let's move on. Let's take a minute to process that. And then let's move into the weekend and show up in the best way possible. For me, it's just always something new, the unknown has always been just a very scary place for me sometimes, just depending on what it is. And I've been to a massage therapist. I've done those kind of things. But just hearing this, I'll be honest, at first it sounded out of left field. I'm like, is this a thing? Like I said, is this a thing? Could this be a thing? Because this doesn't sound like it didn't at first. And then when you started offering some free sessions, I'm like, it's worth a shot if I can get in there and just experience it and see. But I think it's for me, a lot of times when it's something new, it's just taking that first step and feeling good about that first step and confident about that first step and just doing it scared. Like a lot of people say, just do it scared and see what happens. And my dad always told me, try everything. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. So I've always had that mentality of it might be scary, but why not? I couldn't talk myself out of it. We'll say just trying it out and giving it a go and hearing how much it had benefited you and people I knew that had done it before. And then just seeing the transformation from those that have been with you since day one and seeing how far they've come. Those stories are inspiring, and seeing that give people like me hope that maybe someday I could get to that point and just be living the best life that I possibly can. I think, and then just to make friends at the people that come to your sessions often and just having those connections. And your staff is amazing. You've built up such an amazing staff that really you can tell cares about this and cares about us and cares about making it the best experience that they can for us. I think you've really done a great job of finding the right people to do this because they obviously have a passion for it and they love it and they make us love it because they do such a great job. And have those moments of emotion when outward displays of emotion were not a thing growing up. So it's weird for me to do them now because they help me more than they don't, because if I keep them in, it just I'm tense and I'm not very nice. But then when I have those moments when I just like ugly cry and just get it all out, I always feel so much better. And it's these sessions, I don't know if I've ever cried in one, but just I've felt release a lot of times, just that release of emotion, just letting it go, To somebody that hasn't come in, I would say it's worth a shot. It really is. Like it may be different. It may be something you've never heard of before, but it's worth it. It really is. Give it a go. Try it once and you'll see a difference. You'll see that it is something that could really benefit you in the best ways. And it would be amazing for you to see that for yourself and how far this could take you and what you could be after doing this as consistently as you can.